With today's run, we have over 100 kilometers in the Clifton 7. Do I still love it, or is it just a big block of dead foam? Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. If this is your first time here, my name is Brendon, and on this channel we talk all things running, from running shoe reviews to training tips to everything in between. So if that's something you're into, really appreciate it if you can hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on this video. It really helps the channel out a ton. Let's talk about the Clifton 7. So I'm not going to get into any of the technical features of this shoe. I did that in my initial impressions, or you can find all that stuff online. I'll leave the link to the initial impressions in the video description down below if you want to see how my thoughts have changed from then to now. Now, without further ado, let's explain how my full reviews are gonna go. We're gonna talk a bit about the upper, the midsole, the outsole, you know, the standard shoe review stuff. Gotta get that stuff out of the way, how it treated me over the last 100 kilometers. Then we're gonna talk a bit about how the whole package felt. Is it dead to me, or am I gonna keep running in it? Who knows? Let's talk a bit about that. Then we'll talk a little bit about why you should buy these shoes or why you shouldn't buy the shoes. Then I'll give you some alternatives to the Clifton 7. What shoes do I feel could do the same job as these shoes? Maybe if you don't like the big plushness, what other shoes would be great for daily trainers and easy day use? Yes, that's a spoiler. This shoe is a daily trainer and easy day shoe for sure, absolutely. And then I'll go and give you my conclusions of the overall package. Let's get into the upper. So this upper is pretty darn comfortable. It's not ultra comfortable, but it definitely does the trick. I don't find it super tight or super loose. It's just actually the perfect amount of fit for me. I really enjoy the lockdown in this shoe, especially in the heel. Now, I was pretty confused initially what this heel flare was for, but what I've kind of concluded is that the heel flare helps you get a nice lockdown through the heel. Now there's a little pocket that this heel tab flare thing creates, and my heel fits in perfect in there. And what I've noticed over the last, I don't know, however many runs it took me to get to 100 kilometers, is that my heel never slips around. It feels nice and locked down. It's actually, I have to say, one of the best lockdowns through the heel that I have in any of my shoes. The tongue is gusseted, and you know how much I love a gusseted tongue. There's just nothing better. I understand some shoes you can't put it on there, but guys, shoe companies, you gotta figure out how to put the gusset tongues on all of them. Now, the one complaint I do have about this upper is the laces, guys. Like, look how long these laces are. I just don't understand what the point is. I have to like triple knot this shoe in order for me to not be tripping all over them. That was something that did annoy me quite a bit when I was doing my initial runs in this shoe, is I would untie my laces almost every run I did. So yes, what I did is actually I do triple tie the laces on this shoe. I guess I could replace them, but no, I think that they should just replace these laces with something a little bit shorter for the Clifton 8. And I'm sure there's going to be a Clifton 8, 100%. The toe box here, I found that it had nice and roomy toe box for me. I don't have a super wide foot or a super narrow foot. I think I just have a pretty average Joe type of foot size. But I did find that the toe box felt pretty good. It has these overlays for a little bit of structure if you like that. The breathability of this upper is quite good, I have to say. Like, I did use this shoe for a lot of runs through the summer, and my foot didn't feel super sweaty. Actually, on that note, let's do a little sniff test. Yeah, it's starting to get a little smelly. I'll say I'm gonna put a couple dryer sheets in this if I'm gonna keep running in it anyway. So guys, overall, I do think that this upper is quite fantastic, and guys, I gotta go with 2.5 out of 3. Moving on to the midsole, and if you don't know, this is an EVA-based midsole. There's no crazy foam technology going on, just standard EVA, but I will say, look how wide this landing platform is. It's probably the biggest shoe that I have in my entire collection. Like, it's just like it's almost a perfect rectangle of EVA foam. And guys, I will say that if you do need a little bit of stability in your shoe, I found that I had quite a bit of stability because of the width of this landing platform. Now I know that that doesn't really give you a good understanding of how the ride feel goes, but let's get into that right now, because the wide landing platform contributes to a pretty clunky ride, if I'm being completely honest. You definitely feel like you have clogs or something on your feet when you're running in this shoe. Now, I don't mind that when I'm doing my easy day and daily runs. I really don't mind that, because I do love the amount of cushion that this EVA-based midsole has. Yes, that's one thing that I will say, is this shoe was ultra squishy for a long time. I did say in my initial impressions, I didn't think that I could use this for daily use, but over the last 100 kilometers, that midsole has definitely lost its ultra squishy feel, and now it's just squishy. I don't feel like I'm extremely sinking into this shoe like I did before. However, you definitely do sink into it just a little bit. So if you don't like a very, very soft shoe, definitely not the shoe for you. But I will say, for me, I definitely enjoy the feel of this midsole. The width of it definitely helps me because I do tend to overpronate a bit. So having that little bit of extra stability thanks to the width does make me quite happy. Now I will say that this midsole isn't inspiring at all. It doesn't really make me want to go fast. It just makes me want to go slow. And you know what? I do want to have those shoes in my collection because you can't go fast every day. If you go fast every day, you're gonna burn yourself out. Your legs are gonna get too tired and you're not gonna wanna run anymore. So we gotta have these shoes that kind of promote going slow. And the Clifton 7 for me is definitely one of those shoes that does promote going slow. Now, Hoka does say that they have their early stage meta rocker technology in this midsole. And I gotta be completely honest, I don't feel any early stage meta rocker in this shoe whatsoever. It definitely feels like when I land, I'm pretty much stopping, and then I have to lift my foot up again to get to that next footstep. That could just be me not being completely sensitive to that type of technology, but I just can't feel it. So I can't tell you guys that I feel something that I don't feel. Looking at the geometry, I can see where they could have wanted it to start, but I think just because this midsole is so squishy, you're losing that effect. Definitely can feel it in like the Hoka Rincon, where that EVA midsole is just a little bit more dense. So for this midsole overall, it's not something completely revolutionary. It's just a big slab of EVA midsole foam that you're gonna sink into quite a bit. For me, that's especially good for my easy days, and I do actually like that for daily trainer use. So if you are like me and you are a little weird and like to squish into your shoes when you're doing your daily runs, this definitely could be a great option for you. But if you don't like that type of feel, if you just wanna have that on your easy days, then this could just be an easy day shoe. Who knows? I guess that's what the Bondi 7 is meant to be, but I can't even imagine what the Bondi 7 feels when I'm squishing into this shoe. That's just, it must be like, how can you even run in that? Now, overall, guys, I have to give this midsole a 2.5 out of 3 as well, because like I said, I definitely do enjoy having that little bit of squishy feel. You know what? This is a shoe that I got to 100 kilometers the fastest, so I must enjoy the midsole feel. I don't know. I have a soft spot for soft foams. I've taken this shoe on every type of run, from rain to more rain to dry to wet leaves, pretty much autumn weather. Anyway, the Outsole has performed admirably on all those runs for sure. I haven't had any issue with grip, no wear at all so far. Now I will say it does get a little bit of pebble traps in here. These like cutouts here, they definitely like to suck up the pebbles, so every now and then you have to like dust it off, get your old archaeology tools out, get that midsole. You might find some little treasures in there, who knows. This can suck up quite a bit of pebbles and other stuff on the road. But you know what, guys? It's an outsole. I don't slip, there's no wear. I don't know. I don't think you can lose much more rubber, especially for a daily trainer. I think this is a great amount of rubber. I don't have much more to say. I think this outsole has to be at a 3 to 3 because I do find that the amount of rubber is great. So with that out of the way, how do I feel overall about this shoe? Now, I did say that I got this shoe to 100 kilometers the fastest out of any of my collection. So you have to kind of guess that I do really enjoy this shoe. I don't think that I would ever use it for anything other than easy days and slow daily trainer miles, but You know what, guys? I've been doing a lot of low heart rate training where I don't have any races to train for. So for base building stuff, this is the perfect shoe for me, and I will absolutely continue to run in it. So if you're someone that likes to train quite easily, if you're like me, only doing base building right now because you don't have any speedy stuff to go for, definitely consider getting this shoe. But I will say that if you are wanting to do speedier stuff, you will need to buy a second pair of shoes, because I can't see this being very comfortable to go super fast in, but you absolutely can. You can go fast in any type of shoe, but I just don't think this is the greatest option for it. So here are some reasons why you should buy this shoe. Now keep in mind that these are my opinions. You should buy this shoe if you like a very plush, soft landing. You should buy this shoe if you do like having a wider landing platform and you do tend to have a little bit of instability through your foot strike. Definitely a great shoe for that. And last but not least, you should buy this shoe because of the solid lockdown through the heel and the midfoot, guys. Maybe if you have a wide foot, it's not the best for you, but me, I love the lockdown. It's what dreams are made of. Now, of course, if there's reason to buy the shoes, there's some reasons not to buy this shoe. And I gotta say that although I do like running in it, it feels pretty darn clunky on my foot. I definitely feel like I have some like moon boots, some like running on the surface of the moon, but very slowly. So I guess maybe that kind of makes sense because you're going slower on the moon. Anyway, that doesn't even make any sense anyway. So yes, this shoe does feel a little bit clunky, so I would kind of avoid that if you don't like having a very noticeable shoe on your foot. And for the price of 170 Canadian dollars, I think there are more versatile shoes on the market, so that could be a very strong reason to not buy this shoe. Alternative number one is sticking to the Hoka family, and that's the Hoka Rincon. I do think that this shoe can be used for daily use, absolutely, but the benefit of this shoe compared to the Clifton 7 is you're able to pick it up very, very nicely. The firmer midsole mixed with the early stage Meta Rocker technology here does make this shoe feel much, much better when you want to pick up the pace. So absolutely, if you want a bit more firm midsole and you like to use your shoe for faster stuff, the Rincon might be a good alternative. On to the second alternative, and that's going to the Saucony line, and that's the Ride 13. Now the Ride 13 and the Clifton 7, I have done a full comparison video, so I'll leave that in the link to the description below. You know what I mean. I think that the Ride 13 is a great option for daily use, and I said this in my initial impressions of this shoe. I think that this shoe is amazing for going fast. It is a little heavy, but when you put it on foot, you don't notice that weight. It's very well distributed through, I don't know what they do here, but it doesn't feel very heavy on foot. I find that this Tri-Flex technology up here does help you get that toe off. So absolutely, this could be a great alternative to the Clifton 7 if you, again, like a bit more of a firm midsole that does have some forgiveness and it just feels a little bit more nimble on foot. Alternative number three is, it's a heavy boy for sure. It's the Triumph 18. Now, if you like having a little bit more girth to your shoe, but doesn't have that super wide landing platform, so it doesn't feel as clunky in my opinion, I think the Triumph 18 could be a great alternative to the Clifton 7, but just know that this also doesn't promote going fast. It's more along the same lines of that easy day and daily trainer use, but I do find that the Power Run Plus midsole foam does give a little bit more back than that EVA based midsole in the Clifton 7. So absolutely, if you like to have a bit more, I guess, of a less wide landing platform, but you still want to have that nice and cushy gushy foam that can be used for daily use, the Triumph 18 could be a great alternative, but just know you're going to be paying a bit more money for the Triumph 18, where the Rincon and Ride 13 are along the same price points. The Rincon is slightly cheaper than the Clifton 7, and I think the Ride 13 is also $5 cheaper, Canadian at least, than the Clifton 7. So overall, guys, I have to say I'm very, very happy with my purchase of the Clifton 7. I'm going to continue running in it for my easy day and daily use, absolutely. I really do enjoy having that more squishy foam. It's actually the squishiest foam that I've ever run in. And having that nice lockdown through the heel just makes me love running in this shoe. So what do you think, guys? Do you love the Clifton 7 as well, or would you prefer one of the alternatives that I listed right here? If you don't like this flow of the video, please let me know in the comment section down below, because like I said, this is my first full review, so I'm new to it. Let me know in the comment section down below. Really appreciate you all making it to the end of the video. I hope that this helped you make your decision about the Clifton. It's a great line. Now, I don't know, maybe the early ones were better, but I think the Clifton 7 is a great addition to the lineup. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great Sunday evening.